Okay. It's the same day, unspecified time, the forensic pathology lab. There's the sound of her sharpening her lancet again.
You're still not dead yet. I don't have anything else I can tell you about that boy.
We're not here to ask about Detective Gregson this time. We want to hear about your mother, Dr. Sith. The chief officer at Barclay Prison told us. He said that she was in charge of pronouncing the professor dead after his execution.
That's not all she did.
Huh?
My mama even observed the autopsy of Clint Van Zieks.
What? Clint Van Zieks? Lord Van Ziek's older brother, and the final victim in the string of murders.
It was back when autopsying the bodies of aristocrats was unheard of, but the detective in charge of the investigation insisted, and miraculously it actually happened.
You're talking about Detective Gregson, Salmon, aren't you? Oh, Detective Gregson performed a miracle.
They discovered definitive evidence during the course of that autopsy that led to the arrest of the serial killer. And my mama was there to witness that historical moment.
Oh my god.
That autopsy occurred in this very room. Both the professors and Clint Van Zieks. They spent their final moments on that operating table. This operating room is English legal history.
Sounds like Galone-san is really proud of Dr. Sith. Dr. Galone, would you mind telling us about what happened during that time? Confirmation of death.
The professor's execution was my mama's biggest job. She stood witness to the execution at Barclay Prison's gallows, pronounced him dead, and signed off the execution. Mama is the best coroner in the world. I'm so proud of her.
But that execution was never actually carried out.
Not only that, but she cooperated with his jailbreak.
I wish I'd never found that out.
You didn't know? You didn't know, did you, Galone-sama?
I trusted Mama, but I might have already started out along the same path.
You mean because of the estimated time of death on this report? Or Vortex forbid you to write it?
Just like my Mama, I'm sure she was ordered by someone to do what she did as well.
Yes, that's what I think too.
There can be no doubt that there was a larger power behind what happened 10 years ago. Fabricating an execution would have been impossible without the prison's cooperation. Obviously, the chief officer must have known as well. But that handcuffed chiefy kept coolly repeating that he'd been tricked. I'm sure he would say that. I know I would.
Who on earth gave the instructions for the jailbreak plan? Klimt's autopsy. About Clint Van Ziek's autopsy.
Back then, it was still unusual to autopsy murder victims.
Autopsies still aren't being conducted in Japan.
When the final victim in the professor's murders was autopsied, Mama stood there as a second assistant. The one actually performing the procedure was Dr. John H. Watson. He's my papa. And there were two assistants, my mama and one other. The first assistant was apparently an exchange student who came from some country in the Orient.
An exchange student? Could that have been...
It was likely my father, Mikatoba Yujin.
I didn't know Professor Mikatoba had occupied such an important position.
The result of that history-making autopsy was that some decisive evidence used to corner the professor was found.
Whoa! She smiled! And that evidence indicated Asogi Genshin as the true killer, huh? Is there any way you might tell us what that piece of evidence was?
Would you like to see the record with your own two eyes?
But, are you sure?
Records are created so that it can be studied by people later, are they not? It should be filed under V from 10 years ago in the file cabinet in the back.
Thank you very much. Van Zieks. Van Zieks. Uh-huh.
What is it, Naruhodo-sama?
There's no record about Clint Van Zieks here. Oh no! Oh no! Also I need to add thing. Because there's nothing. Okay.
That can't be!
Did someone borrow it?
No one is allowed to borrow the records related to the professor. You're right. It's gone.
When did you last see the record?
It was 2 years ago. Oh, I remembered. One day, a private detective came, saying that he wanted to see the records.
A private detective? You can't mean...
Sherlock Holmes.
So I was right.
Don't tell me that detective took the... Did he? Iris-sama.
Iris-chan? Oh, huh? Huh? What's going on? What's going on?
Can I talk to you for a second, Naruhodo-kun?
What is it, Iris-chan?
I actually just remembered some very important business I have to attend to. So I better hurry home.
What?
Really?
That's certainly is sudden.
In that case, allow us to accompany... No, it's fine. You two take your time investigating. Now then, work hard.
What?
Hey, just a minute, little girl. Me?
Come to think of it, you've been here before, haven't you? You have, Iris-chan?
2 years ago, when that detective visit, you were with him. And as I recall, you weren't dead then either.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course she wasn't.
Was I? I don't really remember. Anyway, I'm really in a hurry.
Iris-chan.
I'll have some hot herb tea waiting for you later, okay?
What the heck? What was up with Iris-chan just now? It's obviously acting strange. Anyway, we'll be going now too.
It's been a while since I last talked to anyone. It was fun. Next time you visit, make sure it's as a murder victim, okay?
I can't promise that. Oh my god, Maria. I can't help wondering about Lord Clint Van Zeek's missing records, but I think we managed to hear all the information we came to ask about. Illinois, I don't know how to feel. Like, she's adorable, and yet at the same time, oh my god. It's the same day, unspecified time, the Fresno Street apartment. Looks like the crime scene investigation is progressing as usual.
However, I don't see Gina-sama around anywhere.
That explains why it's so quiet. Maybe she took a hint from her boss and is out doing some investigation of her own.
She may return shortly. Let's wait a little bit.
Anyway, something's bothering me. I feel like something's changed since the last time I saw this place.
If something feels off, then we should investigate.
This is Mrs. Dame Watson's photo.
It ended up being a major clue in helping us expose her husband's identity. Must really love his wife. And that's precisely why he couldn't tell her.
Anyway, I never would have guessed that sticking on a fake pair of lips would change a person so much.
I'm sure he was forcing himself to act chipper when he played Hugh Boone.
It didn't really look like he was forcing himself to me.
Huh. You're right. Now that you mention it,
it almost seemed like that was Dame Watson-san's true form.
Human beings certainly are curious creatures.
This bulletin board has 10 years worth of records stuck on it. Records of Prosecutor Van Zeek's defeat history.
That's not a very nice way to put it. But as far as I can tell from looking at the records, you're right. Either way, they're all people who seem like they might have a different side to them.
And eventually this bulletin board ended up hiding Detective Gregson's body from view.
It's all too much.
Someone getting tased in this time period, oh boy. This small trunk wasn't here before, was it?
It seems to be an incredibly heavy case made of metal. I wonder who it belongs to. It has a set of initials engraved on it. TG.
Oh boy, it must belong to Gregson. Shall we try asking the officer there about it?
Not so fast there, you two! That's my trunk! Don't go touching it! Gina-sama!
Where the heck were you hiding in this empty room?
I put it down just for a second, and this is what happens. Can't let my guard down for a second, can I?
Do you have a moment, Gina-san?
Huh? What is it, Naruhodo?
You didn't bring that trunk to the trial today, did you?
What? What are you talking about? This trunk and I are practically joined at the hip. Honestly, do you even use those eyes of yours?
She really blew up at me there. Bless Gina. Alright, your boss.
That Scotland Yard lot. They're bloody awful. They're saying that the boss has been killing criminals here in London.
Would they be talking about the Grim Reaper? Yeah. They say the boss was investigating a lot of stuff while keeping it all a secret from the yard. Like, those bad people who got not guilty verdicts by doing dodgy stuff. You mean the criminals who managed to get not guilty verdicts in Lord Van Zeek's trials? Obviously, that was done on that Van Zeek's orders. But why are they saying Detective Gregson killed them? They found a hidden notebook in the boss's office. Huh? I got a bad feeling about this. It had all the Grim Reaper's crimes written in it. What?
Gina-sama, did you get a look at that notebook?
Yeah, they wouldn't let me see it, because he was my mentor or some rubbish like that. I was the one who found that notebook in the first place, and boss was my boss.
You're certainly right.
It frustrated me, so I stole a look inside.
Huh?
Leave it to Gina-san. The secret notebook. So you stole a look at Detective Gregson's secret notebook.
Well, it was my right, see?
So what did the notebook say?
It was a list of dates, places, and names. I reckon they were all the names of bad people who were done in by the Grim Reaper and the places and times where he got them. But perhaps that was just a record of his investigation of the Grim Reaper incidents. See? You think so too, right? That's what anyone would think, right? All those bad people's names were ones I knew.
Apparently the people the Grim Reaper went after were all a big deal. Come to think of it, there was something kind of weird about the last name. The last? The date was October 31st, I think.
But isn't that the day before Gregson-sama's incident?
So, what was that weird name?
It was a name I'd never seen before. It's no good. I can't remember. I don't think it was an English person, though. How unfortunate.
Also, I don't know why, but the same name was written in there a few different times. The name was Sasha. I've never heard of him. Oh my god. The revelations from this case, man. Sasha?
Wait! You've heard that name before?
Lord Van Zeek's mentioned that name as well. The Grim Reaper. The one who actually did the dirty work. And that name was written in Detective Gregson's notebook. Gina's investigation. We hadn't seen you in a while, Gina-san.
Of course you didn't. I was doing an investigation of my own. See, right now the police are trying to retrace the boss's footsteps from the day before the incident.
The day before? Doesn't that mean the undercover investigation of the Red-Headed League?
But you found him, right? The fake boss.
The person who showed up on Lime Street that day was Dame Watchin in disguise. Yeah, we already did.
So I was doing my own sort of investigation, see?
Oh no, the dog's back!
When I joined forces with my little partner here, there's nothing we can't find. Oh my, Tobi-sama, you're so capable.
So, did you find something?
Sure did. I'm not telling you about it, though.
Thanks, I guess.
Anyway, if you two end up finding yourselves in trouble, just come and have a word with me and my hellhound, Tobi, here.
Right. Hellhound, huh? I love her theme. About the Hellhound, Gina-san. Sorry, the topic was the Hellhound.
He's Assistant Inspector Toby, after all. His skills are right impressive.
The word police dogs doesn't have such a good connotation back in Japan.
But here in London, it's highly praised.
Come to think of it, during the case at the World's Fair the other day, he managed to find Ito Dreba's factory for us, didn't he?
Well, why don't you let me show you Toby's power again?
Do I have anything I can have the assistant inspector here sniff? Yes! Take this wig! In that case, Assistant Inspector Toby, take a whiff of this. Oh, it's so cute! The assistant inspector latched on a little too hard. What? He launched him straight at Gina-san. That's...
It seems that there's clearly something left on this trunk. Detective Gregson-sama's scent, I mean.
So then, in other words, this trunk was Detective Gregson's... Busted. Of course you were. I mean, his initials are on there.
But considering how much pride Assistant Inspector Toby takes in his nose, I think it took him a surprisingly long time to find it. I mean, it was basically right in front of him.
Maybe that was my fault. Come on, Gina-san. We need you to tell us all about that trunk. The iron trunk.
No, it's not like that. You got it all wrong.
Got it all wrong?
You were imagining something totally rude about me just now. I can tell. And I'm telling you, it's not like that.
Alright, I get it. Just, what's the deal with this trunk? Like I said before, they're in the middle of investigating the boss's movements. They had Toby smell the boss's coat. Then, this little guy shot off like a bullet. At Sandwich. A sandwich? Not fish and chips?
Naruhodo-sama. She means that eyewitness.
I'd forgotten about him.
He's been hiding boss's trunk behind his signboard.
So then, when the incident happened in this room...
Yeah, that bloke nicked it from the crime scene. Oh my goodness.
When Assistant Inspector Toby and I questioned him, this is what he said. I thought maybe I could fetch a nice price for it, so I picked it up. That's the sole, single, and only thing I did. Nothing more, nothing less.
Can you believe the nerve of that guy? Nicking boss's stuff and trying to sell it?
Dina, you used to do that! Wait, so Mina-san wasn't the only one who swiped evidence from the crime scene?
What a dangerous place for a crime scene.
So, yeah, that's what happened.
Since it's a nice trunk, I managed to get it back. I thought I'd use it. Nothing wrong with that, is there?
I feel like there's something incredibly wrong with that, personally.
In any case, I believe it's best if we hand this trunk over to the police. What the heck? I'm part of the police too, you know?
About that trunk, Gina-san. If you wouldn't mind, maybe we could have a look at it?
Fine. Go ahead and look. In In that case, let's make a note of it in the court record, shall we?
Gregson's trunk. A metal trunk belonging to Detective Gregson. It was taken from the crime scene right after the incident and Gina-san found it again. What's this? I sense an alarming bloodlust all of a sudden.
Naruhodo-sama! That trunk!
Whoa, dog! What the hell?
Hey, cut it out!
Insistent Inspector Toby, you're trying to lick Naruhodo's face right off.
Naruhodo-sama! Naruhodo-sama! Gina-sama, please! Call a carriage at once!
What just happened? What? Death by dog. That's a horrible way to go. Same day, 4:57 p.m., the Naruhodo Legal Consultation Office. What just happened? Game over, guys.
Naruhodo-sama, are you alright?
Susato-san. Oh, come round at last, have you? What a mess, but I'm glad. Death by puppy licking. That would have looked truly pathetic.
It's not an issue of how it would have looked. I'm so glad you're alright. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm fine now. You must have carried me up here. Huh? There's a bandage wrapped around my head. Sorry, but we didn't have any ice. We just put a drippy sugar water compress on your forehead instead. Sugar water?
It's a first aid procedure my dad taught me.
Thank you. Well, now that things have settled down, let's have some tea, folks. Oh, sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but no sugar for yours. Suddenly this compress is making me ache a little.
Now then, shall we head down?
You all are the worst, you know that? Thank you, Home-san. Honestly, even I was surprised. When I heard you'd been attacked by a dog, I mean. For a moment, I thought that legendary serial killer was back. You mean, the professor? Either way, I'm glad that throat you're so proud of wasn't injured. That high stiff collar of yours must have saved your life. Am I really that close to death? Anyway, I guess I got more face licking than I ever wanted to have in my life. Well, if you want to avoid being licked in the future, you best rub some spicy mustard on that face of yours. It'll go well with that drippy sugar on your forehead. Well, what dialogue talking to Gina? What part? No, I don't. I don't think so. What to do? What's wrong? What's wrong? Coming back here in the middle of our investigation. Nothing. I just wanted to make sure I hadn't forgotten anything here.
It's the crime scene where we always forget something.
All right already. We'll get back to our investigation right away. Same day, unspecified time, Holmes's room.
Mit dem Schwarzbiergebot brodelt Wien Feuerberg, den Schlund es mir verbrannt.
What?
Opfen deine Wut.
What the heck is this nightmare scene?
Ich befahl,
Oh, this is a German song. Quite a gripping solo, don't you agree?
den
That's not what I meant.
Iris-sama?
Iris? What the heck's going on? What in the world happened here, Iris-chan? Iris, why are you not saying anything? Iris-chan? Maybe she didn't hear us. Oh, I skipped some dialogue. Oh, I missed the dialogue with Susato. She's like, that suspicious, I mean that gentleman there. Who might he be? You there! A word, if I may. I'm terribly sorry to bother you in the middle of your pleasant singing session, but perhaps you wouldn't mind explaining the situation here to us. Oh my god, I love the camera work here. Like, all this camera work. Guess he does mind. A singing gentleman and a stubbornly silent girl. What a fine contest this is. It seems as though the god of logic sleeping inside of me has begun to sing as well.
Home-sama, you can't mean...
I don't know what's going on, but this scene is amazing. The sonorous singing voices echoing inside my head has informed me of two things. I seem to have experienced a long-awaited reunion. As for the other, you're hiding Iris. You're hiding something important right now, aren't you? Iris-chan just went pale.
It sounds as though you've hit the bullseye. Just as usual.
I think I already know where the first conclusion is gonna lead to, and that's kind of ballin'. I believe that once my little show reaches its conclusion, this gentleman's song will also arrive at a coda. Now then, sit back and enjoy to your heart's content. Sherlock Holmes, Logic and Reasoning, Experimental Theater. The gentleman's identity. For starters, this man is clearly a German who doesn't understand English. The song he's singing is in German, and he continues even when everyone around him tells him to stop. No! So, what is this gentleman doing, singing so cheerfully in someone else's room in the first place? Iris, I believe you know the reason for this. Yes, the answer is at the end of that cute cute gaze of yours. This slightly irritating singing clearly has something to do with the herb tea. The herb tea. You served our guest, this German gentleman, a new blend of herb tea, didn't you? And the fantastic fragrance caused the gentleman's heart to ascend to heaven. And that's why that song of joy continues to spill from his mouth. I'd like to drink some of that herb tea myself and burst out singing cheerfully like him. Iris! Anyway, that leads us to our next problem. Who is this lazily lounging gentleman anyway? Actually, several years ago, I received a request from a certain German gentleman to solve a rather difficult case. He wished for me to receive a letter that could cause history to crumble. In order to hide his noble identity, the gentleman wore the very same mask he does today. His name was Wilhelm Gostrich Sixman von Orstein. And he was the King of Germany. I just love watching Iris! If my memory isn't mistaken, this is the very mask he wore last time as well. No! Indeed, there's no doubt this mask belongs to the King of Germany. I was just like, I'm so done with you, Holmesy. It seems that His Majesty the King remembered my impressive skills. That's what caused him to show his face, or rather his mask, before me again. His Majesty certainly possesses a strong sense of duty, don't you think, folks? The identity of this masked gentleman is my former client, the King of Germany. I believe his son came to enjoy the London World's Fair recently. What the duck? What the duck? The masked gentleman is the King of Germany. No, it's not! Holy crap, what? The girl's silence. Now, the next mystery is... Yes, it's you, Iris. That unnatural silence. Aha! You just glanced at the case, at the cause. Yes, the reason for your silence is hidden inside your rucksack. It seems that you have been bought off by the German king. In return for keeping his majesty's secret, he gave you a little pocket money. I skipped the line. I love how Iris is like, no! Now, for our final question. Sorry, I'm getting really into this, so now I'm like screwing up my lines because I'm enjoying this. Iris, just what is the secret that you're trying to protect with your silence? Oh, at the end of the gaze you just directed subconsciously is the coffee cup you tried to sneak away. And this cup just so happens to be my favorite one. Or rather, it's the handle. That's what I should say. It seems that this jolly king broke it. I'm with you, Iris. It seems that we've now uncovered the whole tragic truth. Iris tried to hide my coffee cup after the King of Germany smashed it. I'll use my government ties to send a bill to the German royalty. Holmes! Holmes! She was trying to hide the coffee cup. Holmes! This has been Sherlock Holmes' famous deduction. That was the saddest. Oh, it's still playing. Oops. Shit. What the crap? Your silence makes this cheerful song even more grating. Sure.
Actually, there's something I can't help wondering about.
Oh? And what might that be, Mr. Sato?
In regard to this king, I can't help noticing that he hasn't moved at all this whole time.
Oh. Then there's Iris-chan. Don't you think she'd be talking to us now if you managed to see the truth? Iris is so pouty! Oh my goodness! True. I have to admit that maybe could be something that to that. Also, can I say one other thing? You again, Mr. Naruhodo. I actually read about that case you just mentioned in a book just recently. Oh, bless! Naruhodo actually reads some of the Sherlock Holmes stories. And in that book, it wasn't the King of Germany, but of Bohemia. I'm proud of you, Naruhodo. I'm so proud of you. Oh! Was it?
Yes, and the Prince Gatsama testified in court the other day. He said he came shamelessly from Bohemia.
Kindly keep that a secret for me, would you? It could turn into quite a scandal.
It would seem, Naruhodo-sama. It's our turn to take a shot at this deduction once more.
I almost could have bought this one, though. The part about Iris-chan hiding something was true. We have to find the truth behind it. Well, the fact that my favorite coffee cup is broken hasn't changed. Now then, let us begin once more. Sherlock Holmes, Logic and Reasoning Theater. Alright, the gentleman's identity. For starters, this man is clearly a German who doesn't understand English. The song he's singing is in German, and he continues even when everyone around him tells him to stop. So, what is this gentleman doing, singing so cheerfully in someone else's room, sitting in the first place? In someone else's sitting room? Iris, I believe you know the reason for this. Yes, the answer is at the end of that cute gaze of yours. This slightly irritating singing clearly has something to do with herb tea. So he instinctively started singing due to the fragrance of the tea? Huh. I might like to try some of that tea myself. I'd love to hear you sing, Susato-san. But more importantly, how long does this gentleman intend to keep singing? He hasn't moved at all, though. And if you look closely, his mouth isn't moving either. Oh. Where could that loud singing really be coming from? Answer is at the other end of Iris-sama's gaze. What a fantastic spot for the cursor to be. We know this mask. Oh, you're right. Which means... No, it can't be. Is this man actually... No, Naruhodo. That's the one person he obviously couldn't be, no matter how you look at him. Naruhodo, please! Oh, I guess you're right. That's a huge relief. Well, what's this mask doing here, then? I'm afraid I can't even begin to guess. Jesus Christ, Naruhodo, really? Really? Please. Please. I can't take this. Herb tea. It's true. The teacup is completely empty. I guess this mysterious gentleman drained it dry. Iris-sama's fragrant tea is incredibly soothing. I can certainly understand someone wanting to let out a hum of satisfaction after taking a sip. You've been known to laugh loudly after drinking some of Iris-sama's tea yourself, Naruhodo-sama. I'd better be careful the next time I drink tea. This is, It's a gramophone. They're still uncommon in our country.
Her mit dem Schwarzbiergebot.
I believe I hear it coming from there. A machine that sings? That's against the rules. Perhaps the progression of scientific investigation will bring us a new history of rule breaking. Ugh, that's pretty deep. In any case, I believe we found our answer. That's against the rules, says Naruhodo. Okay, Naruhodo. This slightly irritating singing clearly has something to do with the gramophone. Quite! No self-respecting adult would play German music in someone else's sitting room. In other words, the singing isn't coming from this gentleman, but more importantly, this gentleman seems to be completely unconscious. It sounds like the record just finished playing. Oh my god, this is like amazing. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? Why can't we have these amazing animations in the main series? This is so good. It's so subtle. It's so little. I know. It's like, it's absolutely nothing, but come on. This is good shit. Why do I own this nonsensical German record? How should I know? Anyway, that leads us to our next problem. Who is this lazily lounging gentleman anyway? Little details are fantastic in this game. Actually, several years ago, I received a request from a certain German gentleman to solve a rather difficult case. He wished for me to retrieve a letter that could cause history to crumble. In order to hide his noble identity, the gentleman wore the very same mask he does today. His name was Wilhelm Gottschalk Sigismund von Orstein. And he was the King of Germany. If my memory isn't mistaken, this is the very mask he wore last time as well. Indeed, there's no doubt this mask belongs to the King of Germany. It actually ended up being Bohemia and not Germany, though.
Anyway, he seems determined to force his way through this with Germany.
Come to think of it, that prince was wearing one too. A mask, I mean.
Oh, Gottsama. The one that you made cry?
Did you have to put it like that?
Perhaps it's normal for powerful people in Europe to wear masks.
I'm sure you're right. Not that I know for sure. Anyway, this mask doesn't belong to a king.
Yes, we ought to know. We know exactly who the owner of this mask is.
I can't believe we're presenting a profile.
Indeed, there's no doubt this mask belongs to Asogi Kazuma.
In other words, my memory can't be counted on. That's not something to brag about. Asogi's mask used to be sitting on top of this metal box. The reason it's now on that gentleman is a mystery, though. It would be incredibly easy to find out who he really is. After all, the man is unconscious. Pardon me, sir. Let's have a look under the mask, shall we? No way. Father! Miss Susato, are you certain you're not
Not a chance! Not one!
It seems that logic and deduction has led us to a conclusion. The true identity of this mysterious gentleman
is my unconscious father, Mikatoba Yujin. Oh my god! Oh, Susato!
I can't help feeling like logic and deduction didn't actually do anything here.
This whole thing is beautiful!
Oh wow, they put him back. They put him back in his school uniform. Oh my god, the last gentleman. I need to stop. Hold on, I can't. I need to stop. What the heck? Oh my god. There's too much amazing being slammed in my face right now. I need to stop for a second. I can't. Oh my god. That is too much awesome. I can't take it all. Second topic, the girl's silence. Now, the next mystery is, yes, it's you, Iris. That unnatural silence. Ah, you just glanced at the reason for it. Yes, the reason for your silence is hidden inside your rucksack. Is that a 5-pound note peeking out of her backpack? Most money comes in forms of coins. True. I feel like I've yet to see any bills. But my father isn't the type to buy silence with money. I mean, the man himself has been dead silent this whole time. The reason for Iris-chan's silence must be something else.
The thing on the other end of Iris-sama's gaze. Perhaps it has a completely different meaning.
Come to think of it, Iris-chan always wears this little backpack, doesn't she?
Yes, we've always seen her with it, so it's easy to forget about, but
This backpack actually has little dolls attached to it. Oh, I had no idea. I'd never even noticed them before. Are you gonna tell me next that this backpack actually has a 5-pound note sticking out of it all this time?
I can't say so with certainty, but I don't believe so. Oh, this iron box contains Home-sama's.
Yes, apparently the records of his old cases are in there, in the form of memos that Iris-chan's father left, as I recall. It's locked, and no matter how many times I ask, she won't let me see what's inside.
It's Iris-sama's treasure, after all. However, at the moment, the lock on the box appears to be unlocked.
Oh, she's right. I'm really curious.
Yes, so am I. I've never seen this box unlocked before.
Yes, the reason for your silence is hidden inside this iron box. After all, if you look closely at it, there's obviously something different about today. The normally tightly closed lock is now not locked. Is not locked, excuse me. It seems safe to assume that this has something to do with your silence. Well, it would be incredibly easy to confirm. All I have to do is open that box and look inside. Now then, pardon me.
Holmesy, you mustn't open it!
Wow! Everyone's screaming, Holmes, please let me laugh here. He's dead.
He's not dead! Oh my god! What is this? What is this? What is this? Nani the duck! Nani the duck! Nani, I can't. What? I can't.
You can't expect me to continue after that. Oh my god. What is DGS2? What is this game? What is this fantastic game? Help me.
Oh, that's exactly why I told you not to open it.
I notice you're talking now, Iris-chan, and this is still going. What? This is still going. This is still going. Which means, as of this moment, we should be able to know for sure the true reason behind your silence before, and that's...
Something about this feels different than usual, doesn't it?
Well, Home-san is out cold, so I think that's unavoidable. Anyway, let's hurry up and find the answer, for my sake. Not a big fan of silence.
Was the reason for your finger pointing not because you found the answer?
Misato-san, sometimes a man just has to point at something, even though his mind is completely blank.
I don't really understand, but I see. Let's observe Iris-sama carefully one more time.
What the heck, Naruhodo? This is a key. I feel like she wasn't holding this a moment ago.
Oh, yes, you're right.
it seems to have appeared there suddenly. As far as I can tell, it's a large old metal key. Where the heck did it come from? Alright, let me tell you this little note that I just found here. I tried to present the key, but accidentally presented Iris's skirt instead. So have a silly wrong answer. Okay. Sure. The reason for your silence is hiding under your poofy skirt. It's pretty poofy, so it's capable of hiding a pretty big secret. That answer is pretty sloppy, just like you, Mr. Naruhodo. What was that for, Susato-san? I just thought I'd try imitating Home-sama. That's true. That was a stinging reply, just like the ones Home-san makes. Oh, and don't forget this. I don't think you have to imitate him that closely. I feel like this is our first time hearing Iris-sama's voice in a while. It was all thanks to Home-san being sent flying. In that case, if you were to be sent flying, Naruhodo-sama, perhaps she'd speak some more. I feel like Iris-chan moved at that second. Let's have as good and close look at her as we can without being rude. I'm sorry, I read that line really awkwardly, excuse me. Let's have as good a look... Let's have as good and close... I need to change this because this is screwing me around here. Let's have a good close look at her. Oh god, this English. I'm sorry, I have to fix this sentence because it does not read right to me. Let's have a good good close enough look at her. Let's try that. Close enough look at her as we can without being rude. Okay, that sounds better in my jeez. That I don't know, it was really hard for me to read that sentence. It was a bunch of sentences put together and I couldn't make it work in my head. So, let's have a good close enough look at her as we can without being rude. Let's work with that. You're already being rude, Naruhodo-sama, and let's present the key properly. The real reason for your silence is this key. When Home-san was sent flying a moment ago. That's when you suddenly took something out of your mouth. Oh, she had it in her mouth! It was that key. I bet it goes to the metal box, doesn't it? I should have known. I should have known you figured it out, Naruhodo-kun! Well, in any case, thanks to Home-san, we now know for sure what exactly happened in this room. Well... Professor Mikotoba opened that box and was sent flying. Just like that. However, that doesn't explain everything. For example, this stylish stole and this dry cup. Nor why he's wearing Kazuma-sama's mask. There's one answer to all that. An unbelievable miracle occurred in this room. Isn't that right, Iris-chan? Please think back to how it looked before that painful accident occurred. The moment Professor Mikotoba opened the lid to this metal box, the mask, which was sent flying, just happened to land on Professor Mikotoba's face. The cup, which had also been sent flying, got caught in his finger. So then, this stylish stole. It's a tablecloth. This is a room where miracles happen thanks to the famous detective's deductions. Speaking of deductions, good job, Naruhodo. It's not surprising that things like this happen. Wow! What a conclusion with Susato and Naruhodo! Wow! Oh, this is too much.
Yes, it all happened just as you said, Naruhodo-kun.
Man, I can't wait to make an LP of this later.
You really are something.
Good job, Naruhodo. You've actually completed the deduction. And this has been Naruhodo Ryunosuke's famous deduction. Bless! 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 Naruhodo Ryunosuke's famous deduction. This boy, I want to pat his head. What a good boy. You've taught him well, Holmes. You taught him well.
Anyway, I'll go make some hot tea, okay?
That was a rather impressive bit of deduction. But it would seem your final blow was too soft, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, it's not over! What? Holmes-san, think back on my previous deduction. You're hiding something very important right now, aren't you? Hiding something. As far as I can tell from Iris-chan's reaction, it looks like she was able to keep one secret. In that case, shall we blurt it out loud and proud once more? You were trying to sneak off with that coffee cup.
Holmes-sama's coffee cup. It has indeed been destroyed.
I mean, it was sent flying when Professor Mikotoba opened the lid to the metal box, after all.
Oh, so many unfortunate things happened here.
In any case, thanks to us changing the route of the deduction, Iris-chan isn't trying to hide the coffee cup anymore. Hello, Ikari, how you doing?
Which means that Iris-sama's secret is something else.
Let's observe the situation one last time. Huh? She seems to have some sort of document under there. Also, Ikari, that whole scene beforehand was amazing. Holy crap! Was she trying to sneak off with it hidden under this tray?
The seal. It seems to be an official Scotland Yard record.
Huh? But what's she doing with something like that?
I believe we'll have to ask Iris-sama herself.
A Scotland Yard case record, huh? You were trying to sneak off with that case file. Iris, you know, right? A great detective eyes. Never misses a thing. Have a happy new year! Earlier today, we paid a visit to the Yard's forensic pathology lab. That's when we heard from Dr. Golone that Lord Clint Van Zeek's autopsy report had vanished. Lord Clint Van Zeek's? I just so happen to remember that. Several years ago, I had her show me that document. You were there too, weren't you, Iris? Iris! No way. Iris-chan. Is that case record?
I'm sorry.
No, she's crying! I'm so sorry! No! Don't make Iris cry! She was trying to hide the case file. to be honest, I trusted myself to be able to tell a spring-loaded box when I saw one. But that was a pretty good wallop it gave me. Talk about the adventure of the dying detective.
Oh, I'm sorry, Holmesy.
So then, does that mean that this autopsy report really is...
I took it. I knew it was important.
Was there something written in it that bothered you?
It wasn't so much something that bothered me as... I found him. See? When I saw the handwriting on this record. I found Papa.
Okay, I'm going to finish this. There's like